Okay, I'm gonna show progress on this sound editing program. Just a couple things. If everything sounds really bad, that's because I have not figured out good settings to use OBS to record things where it can capture the audio directly. I'm just using the regular built-in screen recorder and the speakers, so it's just the microphone hearing itself whenever I play audio. Yeah, whenever I use OBS, the computer starts heating up and performing really badly, and the frame rate just tanks on this program for some reason. As you can see, like zooming, scrolling around, it's responsive, it's smooth, it's not, it's not super choppy. It looks nice enough, I suppose. But yeah, this is an old computer, and I'm running this in debug. Just OBS kills it. But anyway, to show off some of the new features, I'm gonna do like a little project where I take this drum break here, I just kind of chop it up and change it around, glitchy style. Sort of, I don't know, Kid 606 is the artist that comes to mind when I think of doing stuff like this. So the first thing I want to do is kind of beef up these snares a little. So I'm going to load a new window to get a sound to put in there. You'll notice that the commands look a little bit different. There's like parentheses and quotation marks and strings. That's because I built this whole thing up to use a Lua scripting engine, and I added scripting all through the commands and the key chords, which I'll talk about in a second. I've also added like channels. You can use channels separately. So I'm going to copy, we'll copy good old Neu! Snare. This is the snare from the song Super by Neu! If you've ever seen that old movie Master of the Flying Guillotine, this is a song that gets used at the start of that. But let's beef up the snares in our drum break by just layering them with the Neu! Snare. Another fun thing is I can now mix stuff. So if I say mix paste, it will mix in the thing I've copied. You can, but you don't have to give it arguments. The arguments you can say, so for example, set the volume of the thing in the buffer, the volume of the thing you're copying into, and then the copy buffer. That's another neat new thing. There's more than one copy buffer, but I'm just going to do them both in at full volume. And in fact, I want to do that a bunch, so let's make it easier to do. What I'm going to do here is type E chord. This name is arbitrary. We'll say MP1. That will do mix paste. And, we won't pass any additional arguments. We'll just mix paste it as it is. And what that has done is set up a key chord. So now if I go over here to the next snare, and I hit, if you look down here, you'll see the current keys I'm hitting. I hit M, P, then 1. It's mix pasted it in there. All the basic keyboard interactions work off this system, and they're all editable. So you can add new chords whenever you find one that you want to use. So MP1. You can take commands that you've used before, save them into chords, and other nice features like that. Basic stuff like moving around with the arrow keys, jumping around, selecting stuff. Those are all done with key chords as well. So it's a pretty flexible system. Rulers get to use chords too. So if I hit Command S R, I guess I should know. You're probably used to key chords in the form of like Control or Command C, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and that's what I'm using for copy and paste into copy and paste into the buffer 0. But chords on this can be longer. So Command SR sets up a ruler. Command RT cuts that ruler in half. This is a good way to get tempos out of things where you don't know off the top of your head what BPM they are. We could also do other, the commands can be flexible. So Command SR, the same one. If I have a ruler set up, I move my cursor to a certain point, I hit Command SR, it just slides the ruler up so that it aligns with where your cursor is. So if I want to make sure, you know, my ruler aligns a little bit into the start of the snare, Command SR, it shifts over. And now my ruler lines are a little bit after the start of the snare. This can be useful for making, you know, swing, offset, stuff like that. Finally, if I select like a region, I hit Command SR, it sets up a ruler built around that region. But, you know, I don't really want any of that, so I'll just Command XR to kill the ruler, SR to make a new one, divide it down a few times. So now I've got, yeah, I like this kick. Let's go ahead and copy that. And now I want to get a little kick set here. Want some nice little rolling snares. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm just going to copy the front of this snare so it gets a little glitchy, but we'll want to like trim this up and make it a little nicer, because if we just play it like that, it's going to kind of make weird little pops at the end. Something like, it doesn't sound that bad, but let's just paste it to a new file. So now we just have what we just copied. We can, you know, trim it up, make sure it ends, I don't know, make sure it ends somewhere nicely. So I'll fade from 1 to 0 at the very end. So just make sure it fades out. In fact, I'm gonna like make that fade a little more distinct so this thing is even more clicky. Looks like some of these samples are going outside of the world. We'll have to look at why that's happening. That's a drawing glitch I haven't seen before. So now we have this little itty bitty snare. I'll go ahead and copy that again. Yeah. Let's set MP2 to be mixed paste at half volume, and MP3 to be saved as MP3 now, mixed paste at you know, like 0.25, just some low volume. So now I can hit MP2, MP3. So now I should get a little like roll, and then, you know, I can come here at the very first one, and P3, P2, P1. And get some nice little rolls like that. And yeah, that's kind of the new factor. The scripting system is pretty powerful. I don't really put any limits on what you can do with Lua. It just loads the whole library for now. That's probably a bad idea, because while it gives you all sorts of power and flexibility, it also gives you tons of ways to shoot yourself in the foot or mess things up. But since it's just me using this for now, I'm free to shoot myself in the foot all sorts of ways. So it's not a big deal. And, you know, the implementation has some other problems, but I think it's a good idea, and I think I'm going to keep it in there. I'm not married to like Lua as a language. I mostly picked it because the Rust implementation is good. It works well. It's pretty easy to use, and also I already know the language. There are some other like scripting languages that are popular with Rust. There's one called, it's RHAI, which is Rye or Arhai. I don't know how they want to pronounce it. That looks pretty neat. It's simpler. It doesn't let you do as much as Lua, and I'm not really looking to have everyone going like crazy with features in the scripting language, but I don't know as much about it. I might try and put it in later or mess with it, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got right here. And yeah, that's kind of the big new features. The rest is all just little bits of, oh, I guess there's one little nice quality of life feature, which is if you say audio settings, you get a nice window and you can, you know, switch your audio device. I'm not gonna switch my audio device, so I'll just close this window out. But you can, if you want, and that's really handy. That's kind of where this is at. You get, you know, you can chop up some breaks or other things like that, and we could mix other things into here, but I just don't have a lot prepared for a demo. If there's any other kind of stuff y'all want to see about this, let me know. Any feedback would be well appreciated, and just keep looking for new updates, and I make them. That's where this is. All right, bye.